Hello to you, my fellow Dark Ones. How are you guys doing today? How's life? During the past few episodes, we did manage to make 2 ultimate solar panels. We also have a decent supply of power, and I was thinking maybe today is the time that we make the Draconic energy core. You know, the big guy. So I have ordered 36 energy core stabilizers, and since this guy is going to be a tier 8, we're going to need the advanced energy core stabilizers. And yes, even though it does sound very fancy, it just means that it has to be 9 blocks instead of 1. So something like this, right? Yep, actually, we should bring it closer, because you see, the thing is, here's the bedrock. And yes, I'm not gonna lie to you, I miss the energy core. Do you remember those days that we had to assemble this stupid monstrosity manually? Yes, thankfully those days are gone. We shall just select you and assemble the core. It takes the blocks from my inventory. So nice. Oh my goodness, I'm out. Come on, how much draconium do you need? More? Okay, I can get more. Yeah, it's been a while. Dude, finish. To activate? Ooh. Shiny. Very shiny. Okay, so on its own, this is not really working. If we want it to work, we need some energy pylons. You need to have 2 of them, if I remember things correctly. And then if it's on the lower hemisphere, you need to put a glass on top. Yep, and if it's in the northern hemisphere, you put the glass in the bottom. So these ones are output. We need to convert one of them into input. Don't really know how to do that with a wrench. Come on. Be inputted. Oh, you right click on the globe. Yes, this is input now. Now we shall have 2 quantum entangloporters. One of them is going to be for input. You know, it's called power reserve, so power should go in. Perfect. We're generating... That's it? I'm garbage. Anyways, the other one is going to be base power, and you just take the energy in. Right? Yep. We just have to make a few changes over here. Set you to base power, and I think I have another quantum entangloporter somewhere? Maybe not. I don't know how I'm powering my base, is the main problem. So our net gain from all the power that we are generating, minus the solar panels, they're not hooked up yet, is 60,000 RF. I'm really garbage. Let's make it a bit better. This is a temporary spot. Yeah. Wow. 1 million? Oh, because they're full. Okay. Their buffer is full. Yeah, now it's dropping. Okay, wait a minute. Did you know you can make it purple? It does have color customization. Why not? Anyways, in the comment section of, I think 2 episodes ago, somebody told me that instead of using the mycelial source links, I should use this one, volcanic. He suggested that I should try feeding it lava, but I want to try something. In this mod pack we have Project E, so we have the Eternalis fuel. Does it... Oh, it works. Okay. 94% and it's full. I think we will go with this one. The issue is, our supply of coal is garbage. It's not, but it used to be garbage. Yeah, I think in the past I used most of my coal in order to make steel, you know, for solar panels. I just decided to make a teeny tiny bit of Eternalis fuel, a few blocks, well, 1 stack and 5, and we lost 2/3 of our coal. Okay, so coal is going to be an issue later on. So here's what we're going to do. First off, we're going to make some dark matter. Yeah, I know. But instead of just right clicking, it's just easier to hold the button. Very cool. We have 1 stack. That gives us 16 blocks. That's garbage. Anyways, now that we have the Draconic ball, I wanted to upgrade our thermogenerators. With dark matter, it's going to give us 45,000 RF. With the blazing crystal, it gives us almost 10,000. But I don't have enough dark matter blocks, is the problem. Oh, wait a minute. You can't break it. Can I move you? Okay. I like cheatiness. Our power generation has gone up to 1 million. And this guy has a capacity of... I can't read that number. Is it like 9,000 quintillion? Okay. Moving on from the energy core, I have added way more phytogenic insulators for iron, coal and steel. And I think this is going to be the last of our phytogenic insulators. If we need more resources, we do something else. For example, one of the things that we might have to do is some ore quintupling. Currently I'm just using an enriching chamber, putting the ores inside and doubling the ores. That's not good enough. Let us get another dimension. Since we are going to make additional pocket dimension, it's a good idea to start naming them. And yes, that one is for fissile fuel. We might as well do that. And I thought to myself, before we do that, let's get fancy. How do we get fancy? We shall have more quantum rings. I like wireless technology. Also, there is a very high chance that we are not going to use all of them, but we will see. It's just that providing all of them with channels is gonna be a pain. The main cable comes from here, which is a teeny tiny cable. We need to switch it with dense. And I'm out of cables. Jerk. Yeah. A bit of dire wire, but we seem to be fine. Every single quantum ring that you see in front of you has a P2P tunnel, so each one of them is going to have 32 channels. For what I want to be doing later on, that's already an overkill. So on our ME controller, we're using cyan for applied energistics, purple for machines, and I think we go with green for the quantum rings. You know, so that I don't forget things. I do that a lot. That is perfect. We don't really need to link all of them right now. We start with the first one. Another thing that you might notice is that this is a green smart cable. This is cyan, so they will never connect. So here is a Fluix. That should help. Also, I thought, yeah, maybe we should configure all the P2P tunnels. Because later on, I'm just going to cover everything. All of them are hooked up. Let us get our singularities. I do have my block of redstone. Interesting. Lovely. I just got 2. Okay, well, for the start I just needed 2. Let's get the stupid dimension. This time I have not made any boo-boos, and I think I'm carrying every single item that I need in order to set up the quantum ring on the other side. So let's go to the other side. We're gone. Yay. I did forget blocks. Also, if I'm not wrong, this is exactly the same dimension. Yeah, this is where we have the phytogenic insulators, and this is like a few thousand blocks away. 500 blocks. AE2 is very smart. I like that. But since we can't really see anything, let's figure out the dimensions first. It's not going to be made out of moth, even though I like moth. So if I'm not wrong, with the terminal, we should have access to our system after it boots. Yep. Perfect. It is very true that I did mention that we're going to do ore quintupling so that we would get more ores from sieving, but ore quintupling requires sulfuric acid, and once we are doing that, we might as well just make fissile fuel. Because if you look at the recipe of red matter, you might notice we need plutonium. And with that, I should be able to make an energy condenser Mark II and have a teeny tiny bit of EMC. Maybe it was the block. Yeah. Energy condenser Mark II. Anyways, that's what we're going to do. We need some chemical oxidizers, as usual. I have already set the pattern. Let's go with 12. Never faces the correct way. Nope, like this. Ah, finally. Nope. See, there is a stupid mod which doesn't let you place down blocks correctly. So down here, we shall have a drawer, and we're going to export sulfur, you know, a bit faster. Instead of just using logistical transporters, what I am going to do is that I'm going to use a logistical sorter. Because with this one, we have the ability to do round robin. For some reason, they have power. Oh, I held them in my inventory. But don't you worry. We have a Draconic energy crystal. So this stupid setup that you see over here is going to make us sulfur dioxide, which, if you guys remember, it's a gas, so let us make some ultimate pressurized tubes. For the moment, everything is slow and nobody has any upgrades, so yeah. That is the rate. I like things to be wireless, so we are going to have a quantum entangler porter and a channel for sulfur dioxide. We turn off everything except the gases. So now if we put you down here, you should get sulfur dioxide. Perfect. The other one was trioxide, right? Yep. We need oxygen. Therefore, that should take care of oxygen. That is a set of 12 electrolytic separators giving us oxygen and hydrogen. Also, instead of putting these guys on dumping excess individually, what I did is that I have a tank. And this one is on dumping excess. So we shall have another quantum entangler porter, as usual. And we're gonna export the hydrogen. Perfect. I'll do the same with oxygen, don't you worry. Now, I'm not really sure what is the ratio between a chemical oxidizer and an infuser, but I will have 4 of them. Because the chemical oxidizer, yes, it does give you 100 millibuckets of sulfur dioxide, but it's not per tick. But the chemical infuser can handle like 256 millibuckets per tick, so I don't know. Could be wrong. Also don't know why I have a quantum entangler porter for that. Because I can just use pipes. It's just 1 block gap. Anyways, chemical infuser. All of them are getting sulfur dioxide. We shall have another quantum entangler porter for oxygen, which is really not pumping out the oxygen. Yeah, it is. We're good. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is sulfur trioxide. Also, we might run into a bit of a power issue very soon, because I just noticed that the electrolytic separator requires 41,000 RF per tick. Anyhow, I just realized a teeny tiny bit of a problem. I did mention that we have 12 chemical oxidizers, correct? And they are making us sulfur dioxide, which is great. I thought in order to convert that dioxide to trioxide, we need 4 chemical infusers, and the answer is no. Apparently, you need half a stack of chemical oxidizers just to fire 1 infuser. You see, the other 3 are off. I have turned them off. And the fourth one is not even working at half the capacity. The gist of it is I want sulfuric acid really fast. I need it for fissile fuel and I need it for ores. Well, let us get the sulfuric acid first. Then we'll fix the oxidizers because I think we also need some sulfur. Extra sulfur. Yeah, it's dropping really fast. Although one thing that you should remember is that we can convert gunpowder into sulfur. How do we get gunpowder? That's not amazing. It does have EMC though. And it also comes from blackstone. Okay. I'm using some rotary condensators. I'm providing them with water. We're getting vapor. We're mixing it with sulfur trioxide and we're getting sulfuric acid, which goes into a quantum entangler porter. So that part is good. The bad part is sulfur trioxide. You might notice it's dropping. So if I want to have 1 bucket of sulfuric acid, do I need like 120 chemical oxidizers? And yes, I'm also making an extra solar panel. And we don't have iron. We have to wait a bit. I just had to pay a very small visit to the overworld because in the request terminal, I was asking for 25,000 solar panels at each given time, and that was eating through my iron. Now it's coming back at a semi-decent rate. Also, our power situation is not as bad as I was thinking. We are still gaining a million RF. I'm just waiting for the solar panel to be finished. I place it down. We go back to the cube. 22 seconds. You're gonna finish all of that? Probably not. It's stuck on 21 seconds now. Okay, so I have a teeny tiny confession to make. I do have a bit of a disease, which can be diagnosed as OCD. No, of course I'm joking, but we are going to have a ton of chemical oxidizers. Originally, I thought we are going to need 128 of them, but that's not very true. Because the thing is, yes, you do need 128 chemical oxidizers to power these 4 chemical infusers for sulfur trioxide, but you don't need a bucket per tick of sulfuric acid just to make fissile fuel. Because uranium hexafluoride to fissile fuel is 1:1, but uranium hexafluoride to hydrofluoric acid is 2:1, and hydrofluoric acid to sulfuric acid is 10:1. So yeah, 4 more rows are going to be enough. And then I have to fix this stupid sulfur. The rest of these things we don't need. Do you want to hear something fun? So with the chemical oxidizers, I always get confused which side is for gases and which side is for items. And yes, you can configure them, but it's easier if you use the default settings. However, maybe not in this case, but I put all of them back to front. Literally every single one. This should be the final one. Now they should be correct. Let's hope so. So I have made a few entangled blocks. We're going to use them in order to pump out the sulfur from the drawer over there. You see, it's entangled. We shall use a logistic sorter and some transporters. You should work this time, please. And this is some extra sulfur dioxide. Just for you. We don't want to play garbage. Every machine is hooked up to power, every machine has full upgrades, and we're making sulfur dioxide at a crazy rate. Where is the rate? Yeah, although you might notice the rate is dropping really fast. But I think everything should keep up for 1 bucket of sulfuric acid per tick. Oh my goodness, look how fast I'm making sulfur trioxide. Okay. I'm happy with that. You have no idea how many upgrades that took. It was crazy. Okay, a bit of a change of plans. Yes, even though we're going to have a crazy amount of sulfuric acid for ore quintupling and also fissile fuel, we're not going to focus on ore quintupling today. Because one of the things that you might notice is that I have lost 250,000 sulfur in like 2 hours? Less? I don't know. It is very true that the quantum entangler porter is getting full, the pipes are getting full, and eventually these machines are going to stop because all the buffers are going to be full and our supply of sulfur is going to be replenished, but we want more. I mean, everything is stopping at this very moment because we're not using the sulfuric acid. If we use the sulfuric acid, then it's going to go down again. But instead of ore quintupling, if we focus on fissile fuel, we would be able to make some red matter using plutonium. The rest of the garbage we already have. Then obviously once we get the red matter, we're going to make the energy condenser Mark II and start duping gunpowder, you know, so that we can convert it to sulfur. Long story short, let's make fissile fuel. We need uranium oxide, which was... okay. Oh, more chemical oxidizers. I shouldn't have thrown them away. Make me 10 more. For the uranium oxide, here's what I'm doing. I have 5 ultimate enriching factories, they're taking in uranium and they're giving us yellow cake. And you know, I'm feeding them using export buses, that's it. Then from the back, we're going to export every single yellow cake and put it inside the oxidizer. Oh, that was horrifying. I didn't mess it up, everybody has yellow cake. No sulfur. Everything has also been fully upgraded, so we should be getting uranium oxide at a decent rate. Is it decent? I wouldn't know. Well, the supply of yellow cake is not a problem, I suppose. So if we want to expand on this and add more chemical oxidizers, we can. So let us put a bit of a gap so that we will know that this place is reserved for extra chemical oxidizers if required. And now we need to make hydrofluoric acid. Okay, that is just sulfuric acid and fluoride. The block of fluoride, I think it's faster. Yeah, what do you make it in? Okay, that thing. The chemical dissolution chamber. I don't know, let's get 4. Why not? We have 1.6 million fluoride. Let us hope that we don't run into any problems. Which side is the gas? You connect to both sides. Jerk. Well, if mechanism doesn't care, I also don't care. We place them like so. So again, we are going to have export buses, but this time we're also going to have crafting cards, so that it knows how to make a fluoride block. So sulfuric acid goes inside the chemical dissolution chamber, we're mixing it with fluoride blocks, and we're getting hydrofluoric acid. We have 4 sets. I'm going to import all of them into a quantum entangler, that is good. Uranium oxide also goes into a quantum entangler. Now we need to mix them, get uranium hexafluoride, and then that is basically fissile fuel. Okay, good. I just made 2 chemical infusers, we're mixing the hydrofluoric acid and the uranium oxide, and in return we're getting 512 uranium hexafluoride. Of course, the supply of uranium oxide is never ever going to keep up, but 512 millibuckets is good. I mean, even 1 chemical infuser is enough for me. Do you know why the supply of uranium oxide is not enough? These chemical oxidizers are not working, because that jerk is not on round robin. You know, the chemical oxidizer down here uses 1 yellow cake and then instantly it goes over there. So it never reaches the second level. Let us maybe use pipes. Pipes are good. Laggy, but good. Look, don't eat. I can eat that? No. Would have been nice. At least with the pipe upgrade, I have the option to round robin. You know, distribute equally, aka communism. Yeah, much better. 2 chemical infusers are going to give us a bucket of uranium hexafluoride. That is a 1-to-1 ratio with fissile fuels, so we need 2 centrifuges, because each one can handle 256 millibuckets. Yeah, at maximum speed, that's 256 millibuckets. So if we run a reactor, we can only burn fuel at a rate of 512. Maybe 750, just in case we really want it. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is fissile fuel. Let's bank it a bit. And then bank it more inside a quantum entangler. I think we're done here for the moment. I'm out of sulfur. Which does mean that we can't really wait. We have to go and start getting some plutonium. Now, let's go home. Do you want to hear something funny? Well, in the past few hours, I have installed maybe 150 machines. So as a result, we're at -1 million. But I can tell you something very positive. At this rate, it takes around maybe 4 hours. It's fine, we just want a teeny tiny bit of plutonium. And I don't think I can make an extra solar panel. Nope. Once we get a teeny tiny bit of plutonium and some red matter, then we're going to turn off the fissile fuel. However, before making the actual reactor, there are a few things that we need to do. I need more Eternalis fuel. Basically, I need more dark matter, that's it. Actually, while I'm waiting, make me some reactor parts. That was fast. I don't really know how many things we need. We just take a bunch of everything. That was actually really fast. I could have just made the dark matter. We can have almost 1.5 stack of dark matter. That's a good number. For what I want to do, we don't actually need that much, but this is fun. I'm getting a lot of errors. That's nice. As usual, we're going to have a very garbage reactor first, so that we would be able to get some polonium and plutonium, then we will make a big one. Besides, at this very moment, we can't really afford the power. With the bigger reactor, I am going to try and use sodium, but for this one, I want to use water. So pumping in the water is not a huge deal, but let's try Project E. So this is a tank from Mechanism. If you sneak and right click, it's gonna auto output. And the rate is amazing. If you put an Evertide amulet inside, it's full. But you have to put it in twice and set it on empty. Okay, now it stays here. Let us test how fast it is. So you go up there and export into the trash. That's not a bad rate. It's 64 buckets per tick. Cool. Let's go set up the reactor. Somewhere far away. Doesn't have to be somewhere far away. I can do it in a machine. Maybe not. I just need my angel block, which isn't here. We should probably do this in daytime. Yeah, let's sleep. This is around 500 blocks away from home. I had to upgrade some booster cards so that my wireless technology would work. And this is not going to be a massive reactor, it's just a 9x9. So it does have an internal space of 7x7. That's it. Although we can make it a bit taller, maybe a bit more. And then put the control rods. Also, don't tell anyone, I don't really remember how to make plutonium. How do you make plutonium? Nuclear waste, plutonium. Polonium does require HDPE, correct? Yeah, we have to make that stupid thing. Okay, I think this has to be one of the worst reactors I have ever made. I even called it the garbage reactor, but that is perfectly fine. We just need some plutonium. And later some polonium. The reactor has been formed. Cool. And it has a max burn rate of 200 millibuckets. I did not expect that. Let's add the water. Here are some reactor ports. We shall have 3 more Evertide amulets from Project E. Don't you worry, I have water, I can craft more. We shall have the 4 tanks. And for the moment, I don't know, you output? Where's the water? It's going in. Good, good, good. The reactor is going to take uranium, it's going to generate heat, and in return we're going to get steam. That is output coolant. And since it's garbage for us at this very moment, it goes into the garbage. The other thing that it needs is an output for waste. And I don't know, input for fissile fuel? Why not? Honestly speaking, that's not very optional. So that is the pressurized tube for the waste. We need a centrifuge. Come on. Craft it, you jerk. That goes on top. How do I power you then? Uh-oh. I've used so many energy crystals, I forgot that these things also need power. A bit of a janky setup, but we have power. This might look a bit confusing, but basically what we're doing is that we're taking the nuclear waste, we're centrifuging it, that will give us plutonium, the gas. That gas goes inside a pressurized reaction chamber or a PRC, we mix it with some fluoride and we will get plutonium. It's going to be manual for the moment and I will take the plutonium out, but the nuclear waste goes inside the barrels. On this side I will also have something later on for polonium after we get HDPE. So here is the fluoride dust, and hopefully here is the fissile fuel. We're getting fissile fuel, that was instant. So let's start. We're good, we're burning everything at 1 millibucket. Oh, 0.1 millibucket. So let's go to 10. Water is good, we're getting plutonium. We go to 25 millibuckets. Water is dropping. Scram. I thought these are going to be super fast. It's fine, it's a garbage reactor, we can make it more garbage. Don't you worry. And yes, my fellow dark ones, there is integrated dynamics. But we are here on top of a stupid reactor and we just want some polonium. That's it. So if more water is required, we'll just pump in more water. That's it. Now work. Water is still dropping, but the tanks are empty. We just go with sinks, I guess. These were garbage. Well, with a lot of sinks and a lot of piping, the reactor seems to be working. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is called plutonium. We need... How much do we need? Oh, we need 16 of them, you know, for the energy condenser. Later on we will have more, obviously. I just need 1 more plutonium. Lovely. We can turn you off. Actually, what can you do with red matter? Can you make the armor? It's not that necessary. And yeah, it is also a better heat source for the thermogenerators, but it's not much better than dark matter. Yeah, it's 5,000 more. Maybe it's good. Also, I'm going to unmuffle the sound of the reactor. So I did make a ton of dark matter. We need that. We need echo shards. We have 69,000. We need insanium and unobtainium. So insanium goes in, echo shards goes in, plutonium, dark matter, and then we just right click with unobtainium. Yep. We have it. I'm not wrong, right? 4 makes a block. Perfect. Okay. So now that we have the red matter, let us get an alchemical chest. Energy condenser Mark 1. Lovely. Go away. And we also need 4 dark matter blocks. Energy condenser Mark 2. Amazing. It's just that how do we use it in order to get gunpowder? I have been trying so many things and it does seem I have to go with integrated dynamics. So yeah, this is fun. Although I would assume that's enough blocks. Maybe 1 more. I just used all the mineral we had in order to make a mechanical squeezer and a mechanical drying basin. So yes, we have tons of mineral. Well, not tons, but hopefully that's a decent number. So let us get started. What we need is a logic programmer. We convert it into the portable version. We need some pipes. And I have made a few other gizmos. One of them is the fluid importer. We attach it to the sink. Then we need a logic cable. And then we need a fluid interface, which for demonstration purposes, I'm gonna use a tank. So in the logic programmer, we need to come to integer. We put 1 variable card inside and we just specify a very high number. I guess that's it. So on the fluid importer, we come here and put it on import fluid amount. The tank is full. That's great, isn't it? No, I wanted to get matter balls really fast and apparently there is a problem here. This is the maximum rate. It can't go faster. Yeah, I think there is a maximum speed that the matter condenser can work somehow. Well, I hooked up the tank, now it's going faster. Significantly faster. What's wrong with you? You're on the highest number. Pump faster. So this is just out of curiosity. What if I have more interfaces? Oh, you're full. Okay, it goes faster. Yeah, it's going faster. Okay, there was a suggestion in the comments of a few episodes ago that we use the high covalence dust, because 1 diamond and 1 coal gives you 40. So the combination of these two gives you 8000 EMC. That's good for like 2 stacks of gunpowder, but this is free. Well, I have been trying other methods. This seems to be the best one. Thanks to entangled blocks, we can use all 6 sides of a stupid cube. So I'm pumping in water really fast and, well, this is the maximum speed. Although, now that I'm thinking, can we add more? You know, on the entangled block itself. Can't really say if it's faster. Why not? Let's add more sides. I think it's faster. In any case, this is the speed that we're going to get gunpowder. It's, I don't know, 20 per second? That's a good number. But now that I have learned the cheaty ways, can we have one more entangled block? Make it faster. Okay, it's definitely faster. Way faster. That is something that I can live with. Finally. Actually, I do believe that if you want to go crazy all the way. You can't even see the number. That's good. We shall import all the gunpowder into a drawer. And you know, some netherite upgrades. I just put a timer and it seems that we get 40 gunpowder per second on average. I can live with that. That's actually quite good. How do I get out of here? Remember, my fellow Dark Ones, the entire reason that we wanted gunpowder was to get sulfur. This recipe, chemical injection chamber, you give it gunpowder, hydrogen chloride, and you get sulfur. How do you get hydrogen chloride? Well, you need brine, the fluid. So let us make a dimension for brine the fluid, and not the person. Come on, press the button. Thank you. Here is brine the fluid, and let me try to figure out the dimensions. Also, in relation to other places, oh, okay. That makes sense. As usual, we have the quantum ring, we have the terminals, and now we need to set up brine, the fluid. So brine, the fluid, comes from a thermal evaporation tower. This place is not exactly 18 blocks tall, but 17 will do. Yeah, that is the ceiling. So the thermal evaporation towers are going to need a controller. Any block will do. Yep, and you might notice temperature is garbage. But it's fine, that's something that we are going to fix. First off, let us fix the water. Sink and a mechanical pipe should do the trick. And yes, we're not getting any brine, the fluid. That is because one of the things that we should be able to use is a resistive heater. That should heat it up. We put it to 2000 RF, I don't know. We give you power and we should get brine, the fluid. Why no? Isn't it hot enough? Oh, you don't have power. Wait a minute. Ah, yes. Yeah, we are not powering the energy crystal. Now you should have power. And we have brine, the fluid. Brine, the fluid, surprisingly, is a fluid. And no, it's not a person, so we have to use a mechanical pipe. And unlike brine, the person, you can use an electrolytic separator in order to get chlorine and sodium. And surprisingly, those are both of the things that we need later on. And yes, if you're very observant, you might notice that we have a teeny tiny bit more thermal evaporation towers. But just a teeny tiny bit more. They're maxed out. However, chlorine is not the actual thing that we need the hydrogen chloride, which is a combination of chlorine and hydrogen. Obviously. I do have 2 chemical infusers, we give them hydrogen and chlorine and voila. Hydrogen chloride, which obviously goes inside a quantum entangleporter. What is your rate? 256, okay. That makes a lot of sense. So I'm consuming exactly what I'm producing. The numbers are not moving. Cool. Unless chlorine has other uses? Probably not. Yep, nothing. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is our setup for hydrogen chloride. So in order to get the sulfur, I have set up 2 chemical injection chambers. They do accept gas upgrades, so that they don't really consume that much hydrogen chloride. And then using some dire wire, we import them back into our system. And don't you worry, I make tier installers. So our supply of sulfur is, I guess, a teeny tiny bit better. Let's wait. Do you see my beautiful eyes? Mesmerizing, honestly. I gave up. So the solution of getting sulfur dust through gunpowder and hydrogen chloride didn't really work out. It was very slow and very expensive because gunpowder has an EMC value of 196 and you're going to use hydrogen chloride. Which one thing that you should remember is that I do need that hydrogen chloride for ore quintupling. So that was a waste. Then I thought, oh wow, there is a far better solution using a PRC because you can use a block of charcoal. Ah, and guess what? Oak logs have an EMC value of 32. And you know, it's a 1-to-1 ratio with sulfur, so I came up with this. There is an aldemodium furnace converting everything to charcoal, and then there are 10 PRCs converting everything into sulfur. But by looking at it, you might notice the problem, it's very slow. So yeah, That's what I did. And in my defense, our sulfur is back. Almost. But with a few minor tweaks, everything that we have done today will be used next episode in order to get more fissile fuel and antimatter. I kind of forgot that these things are now redundant. I just wanted to show you. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye.